Decades ago, humanity sent a beacon of our existence to the universe. Today, we received a response. Since I was a child, space and the endless possibilities for extraterrestrial life have fascinated me. The Golden Record, which is essentially a crash course in all things humanity, sent on the Voyager probes, has always been an interest of mine. The very idea of sharing the essence of humanity and the human condition with the universe, even if the overwhelming likelihood is that no intelligent species would ever come across it, really did capture my spirit as a youngster. And still, it somewhat does, as it tends to happen with the majority of people. Life on Earth, and the people on it, took more of a focus than curiosity during my teens and early 20s. And so, I settled down in a comfortable tech-related office job. I never quite enjoyed the mind-bending boredom that sitting in some cubicle gave me. No. But it paid the bills and was relatively stress-free. A childhood friend of mine sent me a text containing a link to a job posting at the Kennedy Space Center. It had a great pay and benefits. It certainly scratched the edge of my affinity for space-related topics and was open to individuals with no prior space industry experience. I knew that I would regret not applying, and had nothing to lose by doing so. So I submitted my application 3 days later. The application process was a long and tiring one, as is the case for almost all large organizations these days. But a Gmail notification on the Monday morning following the final interview and stage of the process detailed their offer of employment. I was ecstatic. Before I even had finished reading the opening sentence of congratulations, I would like to extend this offer of employment to, I sent a celebratory text to my best friend, as well as a friend who had shared the opportunity with me. My first day was the Monday 2 weeks after the other letter was sent. The Uber driving me from the temporary accommodation of a nearby hotel to the center drove past a sign that finally made it feel real. The NASA logo, along with the words National Aeronautics and Space Administration, Kennedy Space Center. I was filled with childlike wonder and a giddy excitement I hadn't felt in many years. Yet, I forced myself to maintain a steady look of professionalism and tranquility. The usual first day at a new job routine assured over the next few months. I settled in to my new role as a space debris and re-entry technician, which I came to thoroughly enjoy. It was a Monday, September 5th, 2022, when the incident occurred. As usual, I received a report of a piece of debris re-entering the atmosphere towards our general area of the southern United States. Typical procedure that I check the data. Size, weight, shape, etc. And either agree or disagree with the already provided categorization. Specific piece of debris posing a high, medium, or low risk. I agree that this piece of debris should be categorized as high risk, as its size and weight combine with the extreme speed gained throughout the process of re-entry may prove a threat to life. These objects tend to land in some form of water, considering the majority of the planet is covered by water, and so are typically harmless. But as time went on, and it hurtled closer, this one seemed to be primed to land in the general area of the Space Center. I was somewhat nervous, but more excited, seeing as the odds of any form of space debris landing near us were astronomical. It landed shortly after I received the initial alert, and as always, a team was sent to inspect and retrieve the debris. At the reports of debris being stolen by fortunate people who stumbled onto the site, we were trailing new technology, which involved cameras mounted on the inspection team's bodies, and these images being live streamed to us back at the Space Center. The team approached the debris, and the buzzing conversations in the large room died down. To any communication, almost everybody in the room realized before any words were even spoken that this was no typical debris. A large white high-gained antenna was planted into the soil, and a half-broken magnetometer jutted out from the side of the main body. This was, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the Voyager 1 probe. Voyager 1 was launched from Cape Canaveral, just a few miles from the crash site, on September 5th, 1977. The first human-made object to enter interstellar space. I had come across a live tracker for its position in the universe a few years ago, and so my first action was to navigate to that site. With a bit of a tremble in my hands, it took an age to type and to gather enough focus from my wildly racing mind to read what was before me. Launch date Monday, September 5th, 1977, 12:56 UTC. Mission elapsed time 45 years, 0 months, 0 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Distance from Earth, 0 miles. My heart sank. I looked over at the Voyager 2 data to ensure I wasn't losing my mind. Launch date, Saturday, August 20th, 1977, 2:29 UTC. Mission elapsed time 45 years. 0 months. 2 weeks. 2 days. 22 hours. 31 minutes. 0 seconds. Distance from Earth. 10,365,568,983 miles. Voyager 2 was hurtling through space on its expected trajectory. Voyager 1 had found its way back to Earth. Someone, something had made it find its way back to Earth. Back to almost the exact location where it began its journey through the stars. Whilst I have been confirming, my eyes weren't deceiving me. The team had surrounded the return probe and awaited the instruction of the decision makers in the Space Center. My boss was the one to instruct them to inspect every visible surface of the probe, and they duly obliged, almost bonded to the very fabric of the surface, was the golden record sent along with the probe all those years ago, that I had also enthusiastically researched throughout my youth. It seemed completely untouched in terms of its physical appearance, despite it apparently repositioning on the surface, and decades of it traveling through the expanse of space. The record was retrieved and captured the attention of all present, particularly myself, and the probe itself. It became an afterthought, as the question of what exactly awaited us upon playing the record took center stage. The drawings carved into the record detailed exactly how it should be played, and they were followed with careful intent. A dimmed static noise began to come from the small speakers on the record player. A news anchor talked about an interview given by a politician, a sports commentator, an emotional victory, and a rock song played on the local radio station. These were all signals that had escaped the atmosphere between the time Voyager 1 was launched and the day it returned. Most of them should have been too weak for anybody to hear, to decipher, to reply to. But something did. A voice began to drown out the captured broadcasts. It spoke. It spoke in a strange language consisting of no words, but sounds. Sounds made using the tongue with varying levels of loudness. A translator delivered the meaning of these sounds in English. We warned you that they are always listening. To never make noise again. It is too late for us to help you. It is too late to save yourselves. They are coming.